Welcome to my video. These are my thoughts on Young Jedi Adventures Season 1, Episode 22, The Tale of the Short Spire, and the Team Up. And yeah, another quite good episode. This episode is rated TV-Y, so will this video be. And let's dive right in. So, yeah, fairly basic moral lessons. You know, I'm slightly torn on the first one. See, what I want to believe is that they're saying just because someone says that they're going to make things better than they are, you know, change the status quo for the better, doesn't mean that they have good intentions. You have to, you know, do research, and I don't just mean, you know, Google it until you find at least one result that tells you your bigotry and willful ignorance is accurate. You know, that's what I really hope they're saying. What I'm slightly worried they're saying is if someone tells you that they can improve things, they are lying to you, you know, so, but, because, like, he's talking about, you know, this, it sure would be nice if you could see the sky, you know, that is something, you know, I'm fortunate enough not to live in a big city, so that's never been, like, honestly, it wasn't that many years ago that I found out that's not actually, like, if you live in a big city, you can't see the sky, like, or is it only the night sky? I forget, but yeah, you know, that, yeah, it must be so alienating to yeah, but the, yeah, you know, and certainly, you know, this episode came out earlier this year. This is a good time to, you know, send a message to even children about, like, don't listen to every single, like, if someone is saying something that sounds too good to be true, they might very well be lying to you or hiding something. You know, this is the kind of thing we need to help keep people from believing people like Donald Trump. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, and you know, very positive message with how Celesta, you know, she really needs to connect with the community, and you know, once she does, you know, they start to believe her and listen to her telling the truth, and it helps when others back up her claims, which is again a good message. You know, look to multiple sources for claims that at first seem, you know, hard to believe. Yeah, I'm always in favor of media wherein, you know, something bad is stopped by a group of people coming together, including people who don't normally fight. You know, like one of these guys is a milkman or milk seller, I guess. You know, smashing these bottles and using the milk to gunk up the systems of these droids. You know, meanwhile, Luke's sitting at home watching this, being like, blue milk is good for something. Maybe I've been too hard on it. And yeah, that might be about what I wanted to say for the first. Oh, right, yeah. One more thing for the first storyline of this episode. This thing of how, you know, if you get super into science, you might forget to connect to other people, and, you know, every so often you need to touch grass. Again, important message. You know, that is something, like, science is fascinating, and doing science is such a rewarding, like, at times tedious, but rewarding use of your time. But every so often you gotta, you know, even some of the greatest scientific minds, not at first, but eventually understood this. So, yeah, again, really great to convey that to children who might, you know how, like, kids can sometimes get a little really into a certain thing and forget to also do other things and yeah, connect to people. Yeah, I think that might be what I had for the first storyline. So moving on to the team up, where the moral, you know, yeah, the enemy of my enemy is my friend enemy. I haven't actually played that game, but I do watch enough Savvy Writes books. Excellent channel, should check her out, to know that reference. And the, let's see, that was one of them. And yeah, the other is, really sucks when adults don't take you seriously, which, yeah, that is something I think pretty much every kid will at some point have to deal with. And yeah, basically, hold on, his name is not, that's it, yeah. Wait, no, that's the other, I'll have it momentarily, I swear. Kor Taldan has multiple chances to see Tabor as an equal. And Kor chooses to continue refusing that. And that is something, adults who refuse to take children seriously, no matter how much they prove that they're really capable, yeah, that's not, if you are, yeah, when you are a kid, you should not be seeking the approval of an adult who continues. I mean, lifelong, but, once you're an adult and you're dealing with someone who maybe doesn't take children seriously, that there might be, that doesn't necessarily mean you can't have a positive relationship with them, though, maybe try to see if you can get them to take children seriously. You're in a better position to do that than children who they don't take seriously. I quite enjoyed when Tabor, they're all flying together, and everyone's getting along, and Liz even spells that out because this is a kid's show after all. Look, everyone's getting along. And Tabor gets so annoyed, and he's like, stop pretending like we're friends. This is serious. And I'm like, yeah, I think every kid at some point meets a kid who's like taking things way too seriously and just refusing to get along with other people even when the circumstances are perfect for it. Like, just, yeah. I like the fight. Sure it sold a lot of toys. I slipped into my Sean Connery there briefly. But I'd like to think it was purposeful that when Tabor attacks Kor, what was her name? I'm not seeing it here on the, yeah, the female adult pirate, jumps in front, and then later Tabor and Nash switch places. Nope, Nash. It's been a while since I watched an episode of this. Kai, that's his name. Nash is the female pilot. Yeah, Kai and Tabor, trade places, and now Tabor is fighting Kor, and it doesn't go perfectly from right away, but I think, yeah, Kor and his, yeah, the female pirate, I don't know if they're partners or just, I guess they're partners in one way or another, partners in crime or partners like romantically, but yeah, she knew that she had to protect Kor, and I don't know if Tabor picked up on that, but yeah, and yeah, Tabor is willing to ask for help and let Kai fight, yeah. So that yeah, they swap. Yeah, he's willing to say, I know I can't do this, maybe you can. Together we can. Yeah. So yeah. Is that bit at the end supposed to be like a tease for an upcoming episode? Because they're like, oh, Tabor does what he does. He's a pirate. I wonder why. Maybe there will be. There's like, I would say 3 episodes left of this season. They could do one explaining why Tabor is so Taborian. Yeah, it is slightly amusing that Tabor keeps being surprised that the pirates are pirating. Like, he's like, hey, check out this awesome thing I did. Where are you going with my loot? It's like, they're pirates, though. This is kind of what they do, though. Like, I don't know. I'd like to think that if I was Tabor in that situation, I'd be like, you know what, fair play. Well, not fair, but it's what we do. This is kind of, I should have seen this coming, honestly. Yeah, I also like that, Tabor kind of like nerds out over Corey's like, oh, I'm your biggest fan kind of thing, which, and then I guess he gets Incrediboid. But Core is like, oh, kid. Which, honestly, the first time that the camera zoomed in on him, before he said kid, I was like, are we doing dental work? He has nice teeth. I don't know what you're... Oh, the line. But if someone doesn't respect you because you're showing admiration, that's also a red flag, Of course, I guess everything looks red to Tabor because of the red visor. Have I said in an earlier episode, or maybe I just realized watching this one, there's a little bit of a Lord Zed thing going on with the red visor and the gray helmet and the voice changing thing and I mean, he's nowhere near as badass as Lord Zed, but still. I could watch that show. Well, I don't know if I have access to it, but yeah, I'd probably tire of it pretty quickly. It's one of those things, like when I was a kid, I loved it, but today I'd probably be like, oh wow, what did I see in at least some of this? But I think that might be about, oh, right, yeah, so yeah, Core and the others, use like a, thing to stop the 3 kid pirates and tie them up, and, the younglings find them, and I mean, I get that the fact that they don't untie them immediately, I get that it's like, well, they do need to get the artifacts back. It felt a little weird to me to have, like, this is a kids show. It's slightly dark to be like, no, we're gonna leave you tied up if you don't do as we say. Wow. Post 9/11 cinema. Although I guess some American media would have done this even before 9/11. But yeah, eventually, ultimately, the pirates do, say some true things and give up some information. That's what they were bound to say. Right. I liked when Master Carver Drow showed up near the end of reappeared near the end of the first, part of the episode, and like helps against the droids, and at one point like he underworlds 3 of them. That was badass. Like, holy crap. Yeah, I think that might be all that I had to say. Oh, right. Trivia. Let's see if there's Batuu is also a part of the Sims 4 Star Wars Journey to Batuu game pack, which makes a lot of sense considering that Batuu is part of the name. The Sims have gone Star Wars. I guess they were gonna eventually. I've barely played any of those games, but I have heard that they're pretty into DLC that expands the world in one way or another. Yeah. Good episode. I should be able to do another episode sometime next week. And yeah, almost done with the entire season. So, yeah. I don't know if I have a good, clever sign-off. I didn't need to hear someone say wizard again. I I get that I'm sure that kids and others love that part of the Phantom Menace, but it was not something I needed to have reaffirmed as being canon.